Well, Naomi Raine is a Grammy Award-winning worship leader, singer, and songwriter. She's best known for her work with Maverick City Music. Naomi has become one of the most recognized voices in contemporary worship, and she is now forging her solo path with the live album Jesus Over Everything. And I'm so excited to say that the Naomi Raine is with me right now in the studio. Naomi, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to see you.
I know, I'm so happy to see you in person.
Yes.
So a little backstory, we did do like a virtual interview 3 years ago, 2022.
Crazy.
Wild. And I'm just so blessed to like see you in person.
Yay.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
Yay.
I'm excited.
Yes. Okay, well, I want to go back. Like, I want to know more about just how did you even get into music? Like, did you grow up in a musical family? Like, were you leading worship at church? Like, how did you get into music, girl?
100%. Grew up in a musical family. My parents are worship leaders. Well, now they're pastors, but they were worship leaders when I was growing up. I always tell people I grew up in rehearsal. I grew up sitting, laying under the chairs and playing with my friends, but listening to the songs and learning all of them. My parents also traveled for ministry, singing. And so they were always rehearsing and singing songs. And my brother and I would be down there listening. He didn't go into music, but you know, I'm taking it for the team, the legacy.
That's right.
You know, but yeah, always singing in church, leading worship. Like, this has literally just kind of been my life since day one. It's like the family business, but you know.
That's amazing. Like, when did you know you even had a voice? Did you know it was always there? Were your parents like, it is in her? Like, did they try to pull it out of you?
So my parents never pressured me to do anything, but they also didn't stop me. It actually was like, they bought me a piano. They let me like experiment. They never forced me to take piano. Like, I took piano lessons for like it was probably like 3 months. I don't even think I really went. They never forced me to do anything. But when they saw that I was doing it, they kind of gave me opportunities. And so I didn't really realize that I could sing until American Idol came out. And I found out that people couldn't sing. I said, oh, there are people in real life that cannot sing. And I said, maybe I actually can sing. I think I was in junior high school. And that's when I realized, I was like, okay, Naomi, I think you can sing. I think this is something that you can do.
Yeah,
that's serious.
Shout out to American Idol. Seriously. That's for a second there, I thought you were going to say, like, you tried out for American Idol. I was going to be like, what? That's crazy.
No, I was always too afraid to try out. I'm like, y'all will not embarrass me on national TV.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, we got to talk about Maverick City Music. So you got connected to them in 2019. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, so well, it was before it was Maverick City. You know, we weren't a thing. It was there were just a few worship leaders that were invited to sing at a Bethel event, and that's when I met the founders. And they were like, hey, why don't you come and sing these songs with us, and let's just see what happens. And so we sang the songs. I got a text message later and said, hey, I don't think these songs are for other people. I think these songs are really for the writers, for y'all. Like, y'all need to sing and carry these songs. And then I got a text maybe 2 weeks later with the word Maverick and a question mark. And I'm like, I hate that name. What do you mean? Like, what? Are we some type of rebel people that are trying to worship Jesus in the streets? But it stuck, and I didn't realize that like Atlanta is the Maverick City, and that's where they were based. And it really was to give voice to marginalized voices and people that most people don't hear singing at that time, and most people that didn't write the songs that we were singing in churches. And so that was the idea behind that, and I was super excited to be a part of such a great movement. Yeah,
absolutely. And I feel like I've heard you say through different interviews and different things on social media, like, there have been so many miracles that have come out of those songs. Like, things that have happened. I mean, even formulating the songs and y'all first recording them and not expecting it to blow up the way it did. I mean, maybe what's something that, like, you just still can't believe happened through all that?
My biggest one, I have two. Okay, have to decide. Choices. I usually talk about promises, but I'm going to talk about the story I'll tell, because we recorded that in the beginning of the pandemic. Like, when we were not supposed to be traveling. And we were scared, but I feel like we knew, like, this is important, that because we had seen what Promises was doing and that it was blessing people and carrying them through seasons and moments. To me, the story I'll tell was written from my experience with the Lord through just being afraid, like, is my family going to survive? And it's all about toilet tissue. It's a whole story. The Lord had me buy, like, on repeat, like, toilet tissue, and it was like 100 rolls per delivery, and we were literally at probably like 150 rolls in the basement. And I was like, Lord, I need to stop. He's like, don't stop. And so I kept ordering them, and it was like, we don't have enough Heinies. Now I have a lot of Heinies in the house, but not enough for that. Ended up, you know, asking the Lord when it was time to go shopping, you know, before that first 2 weeks that we were supposed to be out. And I was like, Lord, like, is this, like, are we going to survive? What do I don't know. Do I get beans? Do I get cans or meat? Like, I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. And the Lord was like, the same way, because I was watching on TV people fighting over toilet tissue and paper towels. He said, the same way I prepared a space for you. You don't have to fight over that stuff. I'm going to take care of you and your family. It was like such a bizarre story. And so I ended up writing the story I'll tell off of that. There's a line in there that says, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. Like, he provided for me when everybody was fighting over stuff. The Lord had already provided. And so I knew that I was going to be able to tell the story of God's goodness later on from that. And to go there, to risk being sick, and none of us got sick, to risk being sick, to record that with literally like 6 or 7 of us in the room. And you hear a choir because we recorded choir after. But it was like, it's one of the most beautiful moments, because people email me, DM me, text me all the time about how the Lord has used that song to carry them through moments of death, moments of healing, moments of divorce, painful moments, just how God has just been good.
Ooh, I just got chills like so many times with you telling that story. That's just so beautiful. I mean, you guys really have created so many anthems that people just cling to during their times, hard times. You know, I think it's really beautiful. Well, you recently announced that you are leaving Maverick City. You know, how do you feel about that? How is all that?
I actually feel really good. So you know, the announcement was made way after I had already transitioned.
Of course.
I do think, you know, I always think it's strange when people kind of make moves and don't say anything. And so people are always asking questions like, what's going on? Why don't you do this anymore? And so it was important for me to say something. I think I'm grateful to be able to move on. I'm grateful for what we had, you know. I mean, so much has changed. And Maverick was always a collective. It wasn't a group. And so I think that was the flexible part, but it was also the uncomfortable part. It was like, people are going to be here one day and they might not be here another day, and that was hard. You know, we lost members, but we also gained some new ones. It was a lot. It was beautiful. It was messy. It was wonderful, all at the same time. And I'm grateful to be, you know, a little bit on my own. So I can kind of just do what I feel like the Lord is telling me to do in this season without having to say, hey, are you good with that? You know, and there's nothing wrong with collaboration and teamwork and moving a ministry together. But I really love being able to do what the Lord has given me.
New chapter, new season. Let's talk about the album, girl. Jesus Over Everything. Okay, tell us how the Lord led you to this.
So, you know, okay. So it's like every time I do something like this, it's always like, you know, Grammy Award winning, you know, like everybody's saying that stuff. And I'm like, that's so cool. And some people will be like, well, how does it feel to have done this? And I've sung in arenas and stadiums, like I've done most of the things that people dream of doing. And at the end of the day, like, give me Jesus. I'm not saying I don't care, because I don't want to minimize what God has done, because I really do believe that the Lord has done this. I think He's given us an opportunity to have a stake in the ground, especially so that the world can see that God is doing things and God is using people, and this is actually good, right? Like good music. So I'm grateful for that, but it means nothing without Jesus. And so to me, this whole album is like, hey, I'm not confused about anything. Like, thank you, I know my name. It's nice that you know my name too, but if we don't know the name of Jesus, then what are we doing? Yeah, so I just wanted to be clear. Everybody, it's Jesus Over Everything, and I want that to be an anthem that people sing. I went to Toronto, and I was singing in this room full of young people, and I just started singing that song, Jesus Over Everything, and they sang it with all their hearts, and I'm like, Jesus, that's all I want. That's all I want, is for this next generation to be able to sing and declare boldly, like, I don't want anything but Jesus.
Yeah, and that truly just exudes out of you. Can I just like affirm that in you? Like I see that, and every time you talk, every time you speak about what God has done, you always give Jesus the credit. And I love that about you, and I know so many others do too.
Oh,
so I'm just cheering you on. I know this album is going to be amazing, and all the things that God has ahead of you. But what is next for you, girl? Like, are you going on tour? Like, what's up?
I am planning to go on tour. So I've had so many moments of like, are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? And I've literally kind of, after the whole Maverick transition, I took a moment to kind of sit back. So honestly, what's next for me is the holidays with my family.
Yes.
And,
Amen to that.
And cooking a lot of food for everybody and telling them, why don't you eat the broccoli? You know, that is really my next goal. But next year I'll be on tour. I'm going on an international tour.
Wow.
And I'm super excited about that. So yes, touring and all the things. But first, family and food.
Absolutely, girl. I'm right there with you. Naomi, thank you so much for being with us today. We could just, if you can't tell, we're having a lot of fun. And we could talk for hours, but they're wrapping me. Anyways, love you so much, girl. You're amazing.
Love you too.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, Naomi's latest album is called Jesus Over Everything. And make sure you listen to it today. And to find out more about her projects and what she's got going on in the near future, make sure you go to her website at naomirainemusic.com.